Far too many schools keep families at arm's length, which could not come at a worse time. Kids would benefit if the adults in their lives worked together in their best interest. But families are now considered adversaries, not even entitled to basic information about their children. It is not evil to want to be involved in your child's education.
That was President and founder of Parents Defending Education, Nicole Neily, calling out schools for keeping parents from their children at a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing on Capitol Hill. Now, that hearing got heated, both sides of the issue.
Two specific books were called into question. One was called All Boys Aren't Blue and the other Gender Queer. Both books have been flagged for LGBTQ+ content and sexually explicit content.
We're lucky enough to have Nicole Neily with us live now. Nicole, before we fully get into it, we want to play a clip from the hearing of Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. He was reading an excerpt from that book, All Boys Aren't Blue.
The second is another much discussed book. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's called Gender Queer. Okay? Let me read an excerpt from that. Quote, I got a new today. I can't wait to put it on you. It will fit my favorite perfectly. You're going to look so hot. I can't wait to have I'm going to give you the of your life, then I want you end quote.
I mean, all of it is bleeped out because it was so inappropriate.
You can't say it on TV or on the floor there, but it can be in schools.
Yes.
That seems backwards to me. Nicole, your reaction?
Well, we're told that if these books are not in schools, if children can't see themselves in this literature, that children will literally die. The governor of Maryland, Wes Moore, said that keeping these books, curating these books, is the equivalent of castrating children. And man, do I have a surprise for him about what party actually wants to castrate children.
We were talking about school choice yesterday. Now, you see things like that happening in public schools, books like that. Are you surprised that parents around the country are saying, hey, I'm going to use my parental rights to do school choice here and get my child out of that kind of environment?
Right, and it was really interesting to watch all of the Democrats pretend like nobody wants these books in front of children. Well, yes, you do. And actually what we're seeing is people like school boards in Dearborn, Michigan, in Montgomery County, where families want to opt their children out of being required to read books like that, and they're being denied that right altogether. And so to your point, if somebody says, this school district does not fit my family values, we're out, it should come as no surprise. I mean, Randy Weingarten is the best spokesperson for school choice we've had in decades.
We also had Republican Utah Senator Mike Lee. He says there is an agenda right now to groom our nation's children. Let's listen to what he said.
There is a goal here, and the goal is to sexualize children, to provide minors with sexually explicit material, and then hide this content from the parents. Hide it by changing the messaging, avoiding the heat by saying, no, these are not the droids you're looking for. This is not about sexually explicit content. This is about equality. This is about justice. This is about what's right and wrong. It has nothing to do with sex. Well, of course that's what someone would do if they were grooming your child.
I mean, hefty accusations, but do you agree with what he's saying?
I mean, you think 20, 30 years ago, if a child went to school and started to talk about sex, the administration would assume that that child was being molested. Now we have districts, officials, teachers pushing this material to children and then telling those kids, let's keep this secret from mom and dad. My organization has found over 1,000 school districts across the country that have parental exclusion policies that say you as a parent do not have a right to know your child's gender. So the fact that this is being done with our taxpayer dollars to our children behind our backs is insult to injury. So there is very much a concerted effort by nonprofits like GLSEN and the Trevor Project to push this material and then keep families out of the process.
Nicole, I worked in local news for quite some time. I've been to many a school board meeting. I can tell you over the last couple years, they have gotten so contentious, so divided and so heated sometimes. Parents are starting to say, hey, this stuff that's getting shoveled into our school districts coming down from the top here, we don't like it. So But it's tough, though. They're fighting a big machine here. How do they fight back?
Well, first is just knowledge, knowing what is going on. And that's why we see families now asking for, what is my child learning? I want to know this. And they're being kept at arm's length. We file public records requests all the time just to get access to what the curriculum is. And so I think knowledge is the best, it's forewarned is forearmed. But we always tell people, if you have questions, we will step in. If you don't want to be the bad guy, I will step in. I will personally file requests to help those parents because they deserve to know. And for these districts to try and keep families out of the process is immoral and we believe also unconstitutional.
Takes a lot of courage to stand up to that big education machine down there in Washington. So, Nicole, though, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Yeah.